Welcome to GuideMia. Today we're going to talk about Remove Region, the one rectangle way to wipe a compact defect off a mesh in Cympha Studio. This is for clinicians and lab designers who need a well-defined region gone, a residual attachment bump on a post-treatment scan, a printed bracket footprint still visible on a model, a small lump of stray geometry, or a localized scan defect, replaced with a clean surface in a single action, no brush strokes to paint. In the next few minutes you'll know when this tool beats the brushes, how to invoke it, how the rectangular drag selection works, the typical attachment removal workflow, and what happens at the edges of your selection. It's a short one, follow along in Studio, or listen now and read the guide later. Remove Region, the menu calls it Remove Region, like attachment, is built for one situation, a compact, raised bump sitting on an otherwise clean surrounding surface. The classic case is an attachment footprint. You drag a rectangle around the bump, and Studio replaces the selected region wholesale, a clean patch, blended into the surrounding mesh, with the area around it locally smoothed. One action, done. Compare that with the brushes, they decide stroke by stroke between deleting and smoothing, and they follow whatever shape you paint. Remove Region doesn't decide anything, it just replaces what's inside the rectangle. That makes it faster and more decisive for the compact bump case, and wrong for everything else. If the defect is fuzzy noise, or you need to follow an irregular shape along a margin, that's brush territory, covered in its own lecture in this series. For prerequisites: a mesh added to the scene, add model, open optical scan file, drag and drop, or a link, STL, PLY, or OBJ. No GuideMia case loaded, like all the standalone cleanup commands. Remove Region only appears on user-added meshes when no full case is open, use clear scene if needed. A desktop or wide layout, this is the one command in the toolkit that's hidden on narrow, responsive viewports, because Studio only shows it when the browser is wide enough for the rectangle drag to work reliably. If it's missing from the menu, widen the window, or rotate a tablet to landscape, and right-click again. And a backup of the original file, the region replacement is applied immediately, and Ctrl-Z is a one-step undo. If you notice the problem after a further edit, the recovery is re-importing the source. Sign into studio.cympha.com and open your mesh. Right-click directly on the mesh body, the menu title shows the file name, and find Remove Region, like attachment, among the cleanup commands. Clicking it doesn't edit anything yet. Instead, Studio opens a small Create or Cancel dialog that explains what's about to happen. The selected region will be replaced with a clean surface, blended into the surrounding mesh. It also notes the replacement is local, it doesn't repair manifold issues elsewhere, so you may still want a whole mesh fix model pass afterwards. Why the extra dialog when the brushes just start? Because Remove Region is more destructive in a small area than the brushes are. It doesn't weigh delete against smooth, it replaces the selection wholesale. The dialog is your moment to bail if you opened the tool by mistake. Click Create to arm the rectangle tool, or Cancel to back out with nothing changed. With the tool armed, the cursor is in rectangle selection mode. Before you drag, rotate the view so the side with the defect faces the camera. The tool operates on the surface in front of you, not on geometry hidden behind it, and this framing step is most of the skill. Then left press with the cursor on the mesh. The first click must land on the model. That's a deliberate rule. Presses on empty background still rotate the camera, so you can keep framing even mid-tool. Drag to extend the rectangle around the bump, and release to apply. Studio computes the replacement and updates the mesh in place. On sizing, enclose the bump with a little margin around the visible footprint, and no more. Don't drag a huge box to be safe. The larger the rectangle, the more surrounding real anatomy gets rebuilt or blended into the patch. Small and honest beats big and cautious here. After release, three things have happened. The selected region is replaced with a smooth patch, the patch is blended into the surrounding mesh so there's no visible step at the boundary, and the area around it has been locally smoothed so the join isn't sharp. Orbit around the result and confirm the bump is gone and the surface flows naturally. If a small artifact survives near the seam, don't rerun the rectangle, switch to the local smoothing brush for a non-destructive touch-up. For a full arch of attachments, the rhythm is, orbit so the next buckle surface faces the camera, right-click, remove region, create, drag, release, inspect. The menu has to be reopened for every site, one rectangle per run, then the tool exits. That's intentional, so you pause and inspect between sites rather than machine gunning rectangles around the arch. Once every footprint is gone, Optionally run Fix Model over the whole mesh to catch any tiny manifold leftovers, then save or export. For checks, tell you a rectangle landed well. 1. The bump is gone, and the area where it sat now reads as continuous tooth surface, not a dent, not a plateau, just surface. 2. The patch joins the surrounding mesh without a visible seam or step. Run the camera around the join and look for a ridge catching the light. 3. The transition band has been gently smoothed, so the boundary is invisible at normal viewing distance. You may still find it if you zoom hard onto the join, and that's fine. The standard is normal distance, not microscopic. And 4. The one that's easy to forget to check, no back of tooth geometry was affected. The tool works on the surface facing the camera, so if you framed the view properly, the lingual side should be exactly as it was. Orbit right round and confirm it before you move to the next site. The common snags. The command isn't on the right-click menu, you're on a narrow layout, widen the browser, or a case is loaded, clear the scene. The rectangle doesn't start when you press, the first press has to land on the mesh body. Studio reserves empty space presses for camera rotation, so press directly on the visible surface. The replaced area looks flatter than you wanted, the patch is smooth by design, not anatomical. Next time draw the rectangle smaller so less real anatomy falls inside it. The rectangle crossed an existing hole and the patch looks strange. The tool works best on a closed surrounding surface, so close the hole first with the global fill holes command, then run remove region on the bump. You removed the wrong area. Ctrl-Z restores the mesh as it was before the replacement, one step, so do it immediately, edit it again since. Re-import the original. And a stray island near the seam is what a follow-up fix model passes for. Its largest region step drops fragments. That's remove region, frame the defect, arm the tool, one honest rectangle, inspect, next site. For attachment footprints and other compact bumps, it's the fastest clean result in the toolkit, and for everything softer or more irregular, the brush lecture in this series picks up where this one ends. Remember its niche, a closed surrounding surface, a compact bump, an honest margin. Fill holes first when the rectangle would straddle an opening, fix model afterwards when a seam leaves debris, and keep the source file backed up, then a bad rectangle costs you a minute, never a scan. The written guide, with every edge case and the full attachment removal workflow, is at cympha.com. Head to Docs and open How to Remove a Region with Remove Region. We're walking through every Cympha workflow, one lecture at a time. Subscribe if you'd like to follow along. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.